Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mide Nancy. If you are seeing me for the first time or if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back again today. I'm super excited to have you guys on my channel. Thank you so much for 4K subscribers. We made it. It's been 4 years, guys. Let's get the channel to 10K before the end of this year, okay? Yeah, we can do it. This video is specifically directed to people who are looking to move to France anytime soon. I'm going to be sharing with you some tips that will be beneficial to you when you move to France. Some of them are advantages, some of them are things you should not do, and so much good stuff. So if this sounds like something you're interested in watching, then without further ado, let's jump into the video. So I decided to share these things with you because I wish I knew some of them or someone told me about some of them when I moved to France in 2020. Anyway, the very first thing you should not forget is to keep your paperwork. Like every receipt, keep them. You're not going to know when you need them. If you get documents from the bank, if you get documents from the social security, anywhere you get documents from, just make sure you're keeping them. You can always trash them after every 2 or 3 years or something. Just make sure you keep them. France is a country that is huge on paperwork, okay? The second tip is kind of intertwined with the first. In France, you can return items. Some items have like 2 years warranty, some have like 5 months, 2 months. You can always return them. I have a store that I buy like charger cords and some other things, and that store has a policy like 6 months return for like things like chargers or anything that you buy like gadgets wise. So sometimes my charger cord spoils in like 2 months. I take my receipt and go back there. They exchange it for me. Yeah, you can return or exchange. Either ask for a refund or ask for an exchange. So I exchanged it. After like 3 months again, that one spoiled. I took the receipts, went back again, changed it. I've changed like cords, like I just changed my cords. So you could also buy clothes from like Primark, Zara, and places like that. But if you're not sure and you think you might want to return the clothes or shoes or whatever, make sure you have the tags on them or make sure you keep the packaging. The third point is that delete African time from your head. So here, the trains, the buses, they come at the time that Google Maps says they will come. So make sure you are there in advance to catch the bus. You are there in advance to take the train, to take the subway. It's not like where I come from, they give you appointment for 2, you get there by 2 and still by 4, no one is attending to you. Here, appointment is by 2. Make sure you are there by 1:40 and you're seated in the waiting room. Now I'm even like super early. Like I'm always the first to get to many places and they're like, are you rushing? I'm just like, I already like unlearned something. So I cannot like go back to what I used to be. So I think that's a good habit to cultivate when you move to France. The fourth point is that if anyone from anywhere in Europe or even from this country or back home message you and ask you for your bank account details, that I'm trying to get some money from someone, can I quickly have your bank details? I'll send the money to you and you can send it to me even later. I just need somewhere to have the money to, because sending it to me, there's something wrong with my bank. If it's someone from back home, sometimes we feel like, I don't think I want to do this. But if it's someone that is also in Europe, we tend to believe it because we're just like, oh, as long as it's not someone you trust, like a brother or sister, do not risk it. Many people take advantage of people who are new abroad using their bank accounts to collect like fraudulent money, and then you can go to jail. The person can block you when you get caught or whatever happens to you. So do not receive money into your bank account for anyone that you do not trust for no reason. Okay. The fifth point I'm going to give you is that yes, they've told you that when you move to France, you can buy like a phone from a mobile network on credit, in the sense that you can pay over like 2 years. So it looks very cheap at first, like, oh, the first month I'm paying just 70 euros. Next month they increase it to 80. Next, after that, you still pay 80 for like maybe 3 months, and then after it increases to like 85, 90 over a span of like 2 years. I'll just encourage you, try as much as possible to not do that, because at the end of the day, the people who have done such things, they always regretted it. If you have the money, buy what you can afford immediately. If you don't have the money, there are options of payment three times with PayPal or four times with PayPal, or even with like from the site you're buying from. That's like 300 euros, 200 euros, 100 euros. Personally, I feel they're like much more sensible. So the next point I'm going to give you is that you're going to meet good people, you're going to meet not too nice people. I don't want to fill your head with lots of stereotypes about French people, because at the end of the day, we'll all meet different people. I've heard that the north of France has more friendly people than the south. I don't know how true that is. I haven't been to the south of France. I've only always lived in the north. But there are definitely people in the south of France that have met great people and they have like nice connection, while some of us in the north, we've met people who are not so nice to us. So just be open-minded. You're going to meet different type of people. Some are going to be harsh to you, some are going to be like indirectly racist. Just they might not come to your face like, oh, why are you this black, leave our country. They won't necessarily say that. Some is just gonna be like weird indirect questions that doesn't make any sense. As much as possible, try not to take offense to like ignorant statements, ignorant comments, and just smile it off. Do not always call everything racism. Sometimes I feel like we are also always at the edge, like oh, this person said this, it's racism. This person said this, it's racism. Sometimes they're just asking stupid questions, but they actually do not know. And sometimes they just want to like, hurt you. But when you do not give them the reaction they're expecting, they end up feeling foolish and they just walk away as well. Oh, if you smile and say, oh, yeah, we have taps in Nigeria, we drink water just like you drink. Everything that you have, we also have almost all of it. So, and next time, I mean, it would be nice for you to also check Google. Like the next point is that always be sure of whatever you are asked to sign. Make sure you are asking questions. Okay, so when I sign this, what's the implication of it? What's gonna happen? What do you stand to gain? Like, ask questions so you don't go sign something you didn't understand because you don't want them to feel like, oh, you ask too many questions, and at the end of the day put yourself in trouble. Next point is closely linked with that. Before you subscribe for anything, make sure you understand what you're subscribing for. Some subscriptions say, oh, it's a monthly thing, but is it something you can cancel anytime you don't want it anymore? Make sure you have this information like, oh, can I cancel without like any fees? Like, is it free? Or like, make sure you're understanding whatever you're subscribing for, be it insurance, because here we have lots of insurance, especially if you don't speak French. Make sure you have that one person in your circle that speaks French and English to translate to you or to help you understand. And if not, Google is your friend, use it wisely. This one is a normal thing that we all know. You're not in Nigeria. When someone invites you, oh, let's go to the cinema this weekend. If you don't have money for the cinema, sit down in your house. Even if you are going out with like fellow Nigerians, like, oh, now you've met Nigerians, you're thinking that maybe you people split the bill, or I don't even know, maybe you're thinking the person is going to pay for, even if it's a guy. Madam, hold your money. But there are also situations where the person is like, I am inviting you, like, I will pay. So you can make, just to clarify it, you can ask questions like, I'm a little down on cash at the moment. And the person, if the person says, oh, I've got you, don't worry. Okay. That way you can go for the fun and the person pays. Next time, you can also pay for both of you if you feel like. Another thing is that when you visit a city, or even in the city or town that you're living, if there's a transport system, make sure you get tickets. You get on the bus with the hope that no one is gonna check and you scale through. Maybe you've done it once and it works. You might not be lucky the next time. If you get caught by the controllers, that's what we call them, controller. I don't know what it is in English, for not having bought a ticket and validated the ticket, and you fail to pay like the fine, it shall be blacklisted. I mean, it's not blacklisted in the sense that you cannot go anywhere. Everyone's announcing you are wanted. It's not that bad. No one might even question you. There was someone that when they came here for masters, they were living in a different region in France. They got caught by the controllers and they never paid the money. It was after like 7 years in a different city in France. They now qualified for citizenship. They were going to, have the citizenship interview and everything. That's when they told them that, oh, there's actually like an amount that was on your head you were supposed to pay that money at so time, and you didn't pay it. Because of that, we're refusing the old demand because you are not a good citizen. You're not going to pay your fines. So before it's the whole process is going to take you to appeal and get a lawyer to beg that, oh, you forgot, you actually didn't think about it, no one reminded you, because ignorance of the law is even a crime on its own. So it's that €2 ticket, that €4 ticket you're going to buy, it will save you a lot more. And if you get caught, make sure you pay your fine and get your name cleared. This one I remembered yesterday when I went to get my water. The bigger the bottles of the water, the cheaper. You heard that right. So if you buy those tiny bottles, those maybe 33 cl or something, or ml, yeah, cl, they're going to be super expensive. But if you buy the big ones, like sometimes I buy like 6 in 1, 2 liters each. So two. I buy that for like €1 20 cents. And then 1.5 liters, 1.5 liters, six of that. I buy that for like €1 something cents. So and that one I can have it in my house and always. That's if you don't want to drink tap water. Oh, that's another thing. In France, the tap water is 100% drinkable and it's pure as well. Even the French people, most of them drink their tap water. Is the foreigners mostly that buy bottled water, and some other like French people that have like health issues and children, or maybe they're just living in a certain part of France that the water is not so purified for them. Personally, I've been drinking the tap water, but I started having like breakouts on my face, like a lot. I was dealing with it. So I decided to just change a lot of things. So I started drinking bottled water again because I've had a on and off relationship with like drinking of bottled waters in the past. But I resumed that, and so far, so great. This one is extremely important. If you're a student, or if you're coming as a student in France, always read your students' emails. Like, activate the notifications, activate it from the first day. And always, immediately you get a notification, read it. Because sometimes there are jobs, like student jobs that the university is proposing, or even if it's not the university, it could be a partner like organization, humanitarian organization that want to recruit students. Sometimes I get like free tickets for several things, to travel, to go watch football match, to go for a concert. Sometimes they need just 20 people. So if you register immediately, you see it, you might just be lucky. Another point for students is that be alert on the advantages and the things you qualify for as a student. Like, there are lots of benefits for students. You could get the pass education for you to go to the museum, to some museums for free, and to some other museums half of the price. Sometimes even some stores for students, they sell cheaper. Even restaurants, if you are a student, they have like student menu. So there are lots of things that you can do with the fact that you're a student. So take advantage of it, ask questions, and be alert. Okay. Another important thing that you should know when you're coming to France is that depending on your situation, know whether you should call someone Madame, Monsieur, or just their first name. So if you're a student, your lecturers are going to be Madame, Monsieur. You are definitely going to be addressing them respectfully, and you'll be using the vous. Even the teachers use the vous with you as well. If you're in a different setting, like if you come to France as an English assistant, your colleagues, you could address them by their first name if they like that. I mean, all the schools that I've ever taught in, all my colleagues wanted me to address them by their first names because they didn't like the old vuvu thing. So even if the colleague is the age of your grandmother, you call them by their first name. But another thing is, when they tell you to address them by the first name, what they call it is tutoyer, tu peux me tutoyer. So you can use tu for me. That's what it means. So when they tell you that, like tu peux me tutoyer, and you continue to use the madame monsieur with them, they're not going to be happy. So try your possible best. It's going to be hard, looking at these people who are probably the same age with your parents or even older than your parents. You having to call them by their first name, like Peter, is going to be difficult at first, but you definitely get used to it. So yeah, in the country, you have to get used to the way of life here. This one is for students. Students, you have to work 20 hours maximum per week. You can choose to do less hours, like during school time, during like the school section, and then during like the summer holiday, you can choose to do more hours. And I think in a year, it's 964 hours that you must not go above. I know many students come to France and they just want to like work extra hours to make more money, to survive and everything. So whatever you are doing that's extra, make sure it's not something that you are getting the money into your bank account. So if you want to do something extra and you are getting the extra thing from like an organization or something, you'll probably be getting paid into your bank account and the hours there need to be declared. And if you don't declare your taxes, that's another thing. So you need to declare your taxes if you want to, because the moment you start declaring your taxes, your time in France start counting. And also if you are coming to France as an English language assistant or you are on a temporary work visa, your visa is linked with the job you are coming to France to do. You cannot use that visa to get another job or to look for another job. Maybe when your contract is over and you still have like extra time, you should be able to find something to do. This one is to my fellow content creators. It's not everything you'd see or everywhere you go that you have to, bring out your phone to make recordings or to take pictures whatsoever. So there's something in France called droit d'image. And the droit d'image is basically like it is illegal for you to, show faces of people in your videos, people who do not consent to it. And for like young people, for children, they cannot consent. This is mostly for like those coming to France for the teaching assistant program. Fine, you might be posted to a primary school or a middle school, and then you just like how cute the kids are. You made a video, you taught them a song, and they're singing it, and it's so fun. You guys are having fun in the class, and you are just itching to just make a video of it. You cannot do that. If you want to do like an activity with them that will require you to make a video about it, you need to go through the school system and the school will send their parents like the droit d'image like letter. So the parents who want their children to be in the video will consent. Even if these people are your friends, you need to ask if you can make videos of them, if you can take pictures of them. And after asking, you need to ask if you can post it on your social media or if you can send it to your parents. They need to consent that, oh, it's fine, you can do that. You are coming to France, actually invest in learning the French language. Try to learn the French language. You don't have to be perfect after 2, 3 years, but let it be obvious that you studied in France because it's not even for now, it's for later, like when you graduate. Except you are already like actively in the process of relocating to a different place or moving back to a place where you are not going to need French for any. It's going to give you an edge over someone else who doesn't even speak French at all. Another thing is the banking system. Maybe I'm going to make a bigger video about this, but I'm not sure. So the banking system here, you have a card, then you have the app. If you ever misplace your card and you go to the bank to do like a withdrawal, if it's not the bank branch you initially opened the account, you will be charged. I mean, my bank alone, there's a branch not too far from my house. There's another branch when I take one metro away, another one that like several ATM and bank branches. But the initial one that I opened my account in is the one in the very first city that I lived when I moved to France. I was shocked when I misplaced my card and then I needed urgent like cash and I went to the bank, a different branch, but my bank, and I got there and then I did the transaction. In France, another thing is you don't get a lot. You don't get like notifications alerts, like how much is leaving your account, how much you have left. You don't get all those things. You have to constantly log onto the app to see how much you have left, to see how much you spent. If you, whatever you need to do, you need to always log on to the bank app. So I mean, I got the money, I left. And I think that night I just said, "Oh, let me see how much I have left." And then I saw that like there was another like extra 60 euros off or maybe 50 euros. I'm like, "What is this 50 euros for?" Or 60. It was a lot of money. So I went back to the branch. These are my receipts. I only asked for this amount and you gave me this amount. So why is there an extra? It was like, "Oh, that's the withdrawal like charges." Like, why are you charging me for coming to my bank to withdraw some money? The logic at the end of the day is like, this is not your branch. Someone else I know went to his own bank to make a transfer to someone and they also charged him maybe ridiculous amount, like 100 and something. And he went there as well the next day, and they told him, oh, that's the charge. They won't even tell you when you're asking for the money, because they just feel it's normal, like, oh, you're coming to the bank to ask to withdraw money. Of course, you know that we're going to take our own charges for doing that for you, because it's something that you should have been able to do on your own. And in France, we have something called paiement sans contact. Sans contact means you can easily take your card and put it on the POS and the money is gone, like automatic. You don't need to insert like the card and put the pin. So that's why you need to be careful with your card, because if you misplace your card, someone else picks it up. They can go to any restaurants, do the sans contact, go to another place, go to Primark, buy everything there, do some contacts before you even notice that your money is gone, because you are not receiving alert. So you are not even gonna know until the next time you log onto your bank app. But something you can do is to go to your bank app and deactivate paiement sans contact. Just go old school. Anytime you want to get groceries, go to anywhere, insert your card and put the pin. You can do that. That way your mind is at rest, but not totally, because we also have the option paiement sur internet. So for internet payment, you just put the name on the card numbers, and the payment goes through. So you could also deactivate that as well. Anytime you want to pay for something online, you go back to activate it. So you can always do that for your peace of mind, or at least till you get used to things. Another thing is that if you want to get cheaper fruits, vegetables, there's always a farmers market day. So it's like an open market, as opposed to going to the stores. It's going to just be outside in the open. I've made a video about that, so you can just know what it looks like. I'll link it up here, so you can go to the look for the nearest local market and know the market days, so that way you can always get there, buy fresh fruits and vegetables for cheap, as opposed to you going to the malls to get them. The final thing I'm going to talk about is make sure you declare a doctor, because you never know when you're going to have a minor or major accident, God forbid. And then if you already have a doctor declared and everything, it makes things easy. So when you come to France, look into getting your social security card, because you get 70% off medical expenses. But one thing that many people think is that when you are not okay, you don't have a doctor, but you go to the pharmacist or pharmacy to get a medication, you think you can pay with the assurance maladie card. You cannot pay with it. They'll tell you no. They don't accept that without having a doctor's prescription. Declare a doctor. That way, when you're not fine, when you need whatever, you go to the doctor examines you, and he writes the prescription. You then take the prescription and take it to the pharmacy, and then the prescription with your card, it works. For students, there's another opportunity called the complémentarité de santé. Maybe I'll make a bigger video about that. This video is getting too long. It takes the remaining 30% off your medical expenses. So when the carte assurance maladie takes 70%, the complémentarité santé, it takes the remaining 30% off. So at the end of the day, you are paying zero for your medications, as long as the medication is covered by the like insurance. There's some medications that are still not covered. You have to pay for them. Whatever the doctor writes you, most of the time you get them for free if you have the complémentarité de santé. So it's an advantage students can apply for. Make sure you find out about it, make inquiries about it. Go to the international student office in your school to ask about the complémentarité de santé and how to apply for it. We have come to the end of the video. I hope this video was helpful. I've been talking for the past, God knows, more than 1 hour, guys. Please, the best you can do is to give this video a thumbs up. Please just like it, click that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time seeing me, or if this video was helpful to you. Share this video with people who you know that are moving to France very soon or are working towards moving to France. If you want to see a different aspect of my life where I show you like other places I travel to that I necessarily do not make videos about for YouTube, because some of the videos I put on YouTube, I've made them a while back. But if you want to see me in real time, head up to my Instagram page and follow me, mide_Nancy. That's where I do like daily vlogs. I share reels, photos. I post on my story. Follow me on TikTok as well. I plan to have a different TikTok very soon where I share like short videos of these things that I'm talking about. So definitely look forward to that. I'm super grateful you stayed to the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.